There's this silent, powerful force inside every single one of us, an unseen thing that can totally shift the course of your life. It's why some days feel like magic and others are just a slog. But what if you could actually learn to control it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
Seriously, have you ever felt like reality is, bending for you? You know those days, right? Where everything just clicks. You bump into the one person you were thinking about, an opportunity you desperately needed just falls into your lap. It's like this whole series of coincidences that are just way too perfect to be an accident. It's that feeling that the whole universe is on your side.
There's this quote that really hits it home. There is an invisible force that flows through every person, yet only a few ever recognize it. Wow. So this isn't just random luck we're talking about. It's something deeper, a hidden current that's always there. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain and really figure out what this is all about.
All right, first section. Let's tackle the big question right away. What is this unseen magnetic force? How does this power actually work? Let's get into it.
Okay, so the name for this is spiritual magnetism. And the key thing to get here is that it's not about being charming or super talented. No, it's a subtle energy that radiates from you, created by your inner state. The best way to think about it is like tuning an old-school radio. When your thoughts and feelings, your inner world, are aligned, you're broadcasting this really clear, powerful signal. And just like a radio, that signal quietly pulls in things that are on the exact same frequency.
So how do you get that alignment? It really boils down to three core components working together. First, you've got your mind, your thoughts. They're like the steering wheel, setting the direction. Then you've got your emotions, your feelings. That's the gas in the tank, the raw energy. And finally, your intentions, your purpose. That's like the lens that focuses all that energy. When all three of those, what you think, what you feel, and what you want, are all lined up and pointing in the same direction, that's when your magnetic field becomes incredibly strong.
I know. This can sound a little out there. So the real question is, how can you tell if your magnet is actually switched on? How do you recognize this force in your own life? Well, the good news is there are some really clear signs you can look for.
Okay, so here are some of the subtle signs that your magnetism is active. For one, you'll notice people are just inexplicably drawn to you. They want to be around you. The synchronicities and coincidences start popping up way more often. Opportunities seem to just appear right when you need them most. And this is a big one. Your intuition gets razor sharp. You can feel the vibe of a room the second you walk in. It's like you can sense the emotional energy.
Okay, but here's a really important twist. This power, it's a double-edged sword. It's not automatically a good thing. The force itself is neutral, and that means if it's left unchecked, it can be dangerous and attract some major complications into your life.
Yeah, there's this story that illustrates it perfectly. It's about this person who had this incredible natural magnetism, At first, it was amazing. Doors just opened for them. But because they weren't aware of it, their magnet was just running wild. And it didn't just attract good stuff. It started attracting envy, sabotage from colleagues, people whispering behind their back. The exact same magnetism that was a gift now was inviting total chaos.
And this right here is the absolute heart of the matter. When your magnetism is conscious, when you're directing it, it attracts growth, positive connections, that feeling of flow. But when it's unconscious, just running on autopilot, it attracts chaos, envy, and conflict. See, the magnet doesn't care. It doesn't judge what's good or bad. It just pulls in whatever matches your energy, period.
All right, so if this can go wrong, the obvious question is, how do you control it? How do you actually tune your inner frequency so you're not just attracting chaos? Let's get into the practical steps.
Okay, there are 3 key practices to harness this energy. Step 1 is mindfulness. This is just about paying attention. What signal are you actually sending out right now? No judgment, just awareness. Step 2 is meditation. This is what helps you settle down all that inner noise and really expand your energy field. And step 3 is positive focus. This means actively choosing to cultivate things like gratitude, compassion, kindness. These things literally change your frequency for the better.
But, and this is super important, patience is absolutely essential. This is not a magic wand. You can't just rush it. This force grows quietly, in the background, through consistent practice. So don't expect some huge, dramatic change overnight. It's a gradual, subtle shift.
So as you practice this and your magnetism gets stronger, you're going to face a whole new set of challenges. It's about living with that influence. So in this last section, we're talking protection, responsibility, and what it really means to master this force.
See, as your own energy gets stronger, you also become way more sensitive to the energy of others, both good and bad. That's why protecting your own energy becomes non-negotiable. And there are some really simple but powerful tools for this. Things like visualizing a protective bubble of light around yourself, or grounding, literally connecting your energy to the earth to stay stable. And of course, learning to set healthy boundaries. Knowing when to say no is a huge part of this.
And all of this really leads to the biggest point of all: responsibility. Your energy, your magnetism, it doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It ripples outward. It influences everyone you meet in ways you might never even see. Think about it. Your presence can literally lift someone up, or it can drag them down. It can inspire them, or it can just amplify whatever struggles they're already going through. It all comes down to the energy you're carrying.
So here's the bottom line. Your energy is always rippling outward, always at work. The question isn't if you have this power. You do. We all do. The real question is, how will you shape the world with it? Because you are, whether you realize it or not. So what's it going to be?